Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to your reading. Before we get right into it, I have a small announcement here that I'd like to make, and it's regarding the format of the readings that I'll be delivering, specifically for the mid portion of the month. So this reading that we're getting into now pertains to the 1st to the 15th approximately, and I generally have available on this channel a reading for the 15th to the 30th. Okay, so the way that I want to do it this month is I want to give the bulk of my time and my energy to the mid-monthly general readings. So that requires of me to reduce the amount of time and energy that I put into the private services that I offer, okay, private readings and things like that. So to do that, I've decided to form a subscription base for this mid-monthly reading, okay, that I'll be offering for all the signs around the 11th of October. So you can feel free to sign up for that mid-monthly reading to gain access once this video goes live. So right, watching this, you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will link you to where you can save access to this mid-monthly reading. The price will be set at $222, okay, and all readings will be delivered to everyone who signs up on the 11th, okay, of October. So you'll get it just before the 15th of October, beginning the cycle to the second half of the month. Otherwise, thank you so very much for tuning in, everyone, and enjoy this first half of the month reading. Bye. Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your October reading. Of course, energy is fluid though, so it may permeate a little over the 1st, a little after the 15th. Without further ado, Sagittarius, let us get started with your reading here. I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, and I was hearing it's like baby steps. It's like babies, you're just taking gradual micro movements towards a certain objective, okay? You have Temperance here that pops out your very own card in the Major Arcana. In reverse, okay, in angular fashion, relationship to the Father of Swords. Upright. Now we'll heed that, but let us see if we can get a Celtic cross out for you. Okay, more cards want to pop out here. The Mother of Wands in reverse, the Seven of Pentacles upright, okay, and they're upside down right at the base, the junction between the Temperance card and the Father of Swords card, okay. Lots of characters here for you. Justice, decisions coming through the portal. I'm hearing the portal. Son of Pentacles in reverse, okay. This is Libra's card, Justice, in the Major Arcana, by the way. You may be dealing with an individual who has a lot of earth in their chart, okay. It could be a question of progress, measured progress, in terms of creative assets and resources. I'm hearing that for a number of you. Okay, but before we get to that, let's pull the cards. You have the Eight of Swords as well, in reverse, overlaying the Father of Pentacles upright. Okay, and we'll set those to the side there. A strong referencing to the earth element for you, Sagittarius. Okay, very interesting because the Father of Pentacles is looking over at the Father of Swords. Almost like, I see you. Okay, I see you. Like there's this feeling of wanting to ensure that the space, okay, and I'm hearing the domain and the frame and the point of reference is known, and I'm hearing is heard. And the measures to capacitate that are being taken. I'm getting that this is an individual at the periphery, at the sidelines. But the Father of Pentacles is making such direct eye contact with the Father of Swords. Let us see what else popped out. Son of Cups upright. Overlaying the Lovers in reverse, okay, with the Mother of Swords horizontally laid right at the base, okay, almost supporting this energy of the Lovers and the Son of Cups. You may be dealing with a water sign, someone who also has some Gemini or is related to a Gemini in some kind of way. You have the Mother of Swords, who speaks similarly to air energy. So there's this referencing to air energy throughout with Justice, the Lovers, and the Mother of Swords. And about the Eight of Swords, but I'm feeling it's more pertaining to the Father of Pentacles. Now, let us get more cards out and see what the Celtic cross has to do with you. There's a major turnaround at a certain point, Sagittarius. Okay, I almost said Gemini. Sagittarius, there's a recognition at a certain point from the 1st to the 15th. I'm getting the 7th for a number of you and the 13th for a number of you, and even that interval, okay. But there's a certain point where it comes out of nowhere, and you're like, I don't only realize, I recognize what I have realized for so very long. And it's something you're like, I've been looking at this Sagittarius, it's like this. You know those illustrations, right? That have like you could look at it in a certain way, and you'll see a certain proliferation of an image, and you could look at it for like 10 hours, and you could see that same sort of face to that frame, okay. But when the perception shifts, okay, you're like, I want to see how I can see it from another angle, perhaps, okay, or you shift, right, your perception. You see a completely different image in the image. And it's that moment, it's almost freaky, right? It's that moment where, whoa, I did not expect to see that in what I was just looking at, okay? It's like that, Sagittarius. It's something to do about perception. And you've got the Father of Pentacles. It may have to do with the Father of Pentacles and the Father of Swords. There is this mirroring two fathers, okay? But the Father of Swords is like almost pretending not to see the Father of Pentacles. And it's almost as if, but the Father of Swords is related and it knows it. I'm getting that it's almost like a fabrication, but they are connected. Absolutely connected, because take a look at these two cards, Sagittarius. Right, there's this alluding to this like colorful scheme on the antlers of the Father of Pentacles and the sword of the Father of Swords. Okay, their method and their means, in some shape or form, is infiltrated with the same cause, I'm hearing. Okay, it's infiltrated with the same cause. I'm hearing cause of origin. Okay, cause of success. So there's something here about, I'm hearing a duo. I'm hearing a duo. And how this pair, I'm hearing dynamic duo, is related. But it's all a matter of perception. Dear Sagittarius, let us see what comes out. Oh my goodness, like a blurb. It's like a pop. Gemini got the same sort of feeling with their cards. Okay, at a certain point in their reading, there was this, it's like acrobatic nature to what comes of matters of perception. Okay, Gemini got a very similar energy as it pertains to perception, okay, and knowing. Now you have the Sun, though, as well, that popped out, mirroring this whole conglomerate of energy over here on the right-hand corner, with Temperance in reverse, the Mother of Wands in reverse, the Seven of Pentacles upright, leading into the Father of Swords. There is this reflective nature, okay, that speaks to a new beginning. But it's almost like you got to sift through so much of the debris of understanding what this new beginning is about that then leads you, okay, to the aha moment. To the aha moment that I'm getting. It's like you, in a way, you already were living in that moment of awareness, of clarity. But it's simply a matter of the moving through the clarity and what you kind of have brought with it in that period, in that time. Right? It's like this, Sagittarius. It's like you move into a new place, okay? Let's say you move homes, okay? You translocation. And you're like, whoa, I'm so ready for this new beginning. I'm like, and I'm okay, I've moved. I'm in the new beginning. Okay, energetically, and physically, I'm present. I'm feeling myself in this new place. I'm feeling myself in this new way of life, okay? And I'm hearing and seeing things. But there's something I'm hearing that has tagged along in a certain way. There's something, and I'm getting that it's perceptive. It's perceptive. It's like, well, yes, it's a new beginning, and I'm in a new place, but I've brought with me, okay, some sort of, I'm hearing memory from the past. Okay, that it's like, well, you know, and I'm hearing footloose. So there's a matter of identifying, pinpointing, and it could be something so, I'm hearing microaggression. It's like it's like a tag on, okay, Sagittarius, you got the same analogy in a few readings past, okay, and it was about, right, you hiking this mountain, and there was this like little irritation, okay? It's like you're hiking the mountain, really excited, you love hiking, and you're finally on the mountain here. But there's something through the process of ascending that is almost like a distraction to you, okay? So there's this distraction that you may have even defied in a certain way. You're like, well, that's not that big of a distraction. It's not enough for me to stop what I'm doing, hold all the horses, okay? And I'm hearing dishevel, dishevel. But it's a matter of going through. I'm hearing it's like the shelving process. It's a matter as you're taking all the stuff that you've brought with you and you're placing it on these shelves. Okay, in this new home, in this new place. Take it as you will, Sagittarius. Okay, Gemini, it's coming through for you here. But and it could be pertaining to information as well. Matters of information. I'm hearing dialect, speaking, writing, papers, written word, text messages, emails, things like that. Okay, having to do with the mercurial element, but it's in the process of replacement. Okay, reconstructing the way that we call our home our home. You realize ever more in that moment what has continued from the past. What seeks to find its place, has sought to find its place. I'm hearing through the memory. So it's like, it doesn't have to be necessarily tangible, physical matter, okay, that you're moving through and you realize, oh, this is like energetic memory from the past. Okay, it holds energy from the past. I don't feel that necessarily, although for a number of you it could be that. I'm feeling that for a number of you. But it could be simply, right, the way that we perceive of what we've brought with us in this dimension. Okay, the screen is going a little dark there. That sets us on our course, the course to understanding fundamentally what we're here for, what we've shown up for, why we've made the move, why we feel stable where we are, what stability means to us, what creation means to us, what manifestation means to us. Okay, and it takes on this esoteric nature, Sagittarius. It takes on this quality to it that compels you to dive so deeply into matters of perception, so deeply into how it is that you see through your, I'm hearing your personality, your persona, your lens, how you see through yourself, how that shapes in a certain way, how others perceive you. And it calls for a new beginning, absolutely. The Fool, overlaying the Father of Wands upright. And this sits right in the central position of your reading, right beneath this Ascension of Wands, the Nine of Wands card, right over the Ten of Wands. Okay, Gemini pulled. Was it Gemini? Was it Gemini? Potentially Gemini that pulled the Ten of Wands in reverse, the Nine of Wands upright, with the Ace of Wands peeking out from beneath the 10. Okay, 10, 9, leading to the 8 of Swords at the apex, with this Ace mirroring the 9. You understand that you're driving closer and closer and closer to a new beginning. That speaks of creative potential, absolutely, hands down. Okay, hands down, head up, looking into the future of what you're creating, Sagittarius. You understand that the path there is so fundamentally held in a place so deeply within you, okay, that requires of you to literally go through the things, to go through everything, right? Pull out of the papers, okay? And the way I'm getting it is, yes, there's a physical component to it, but at the same time, there's an esoteric knowledge, okay, that is regarded here, okay? It's like, well, how do I philosophically, right, engage in my world, right? How do I what is the symbology of what's around me? How do I regard people, things, places, phenomenon, right? Words, speaking, typing, writing. I'm getting specifically typing and writing. The way that I profess who I am and my character. How does that come through? And how does that come through the ley line? So there's an energetic component as well. One which is spiritual. One which speaks to what is conveyed on levels that are not recognizable, okay, in the third dimension. But you're coming to terms with, Sagittarius, what it means to create, what creation is, and how your role in that. And not only as, well, what's my role, right, in creating something, but as the creator, right, of whatever it is that I create. How does my role as just simply playing all the parts of who I am come into play and into order as I move through myself closer and closer and closer to this dream that I hold. It's the assimilation of you, Sagittarius, that is the focus here. Okay, and I'm hearing conglomerate. There's this piecing together, this bringing together, the synthesis of variables. Okay, and I'm hearing variance. So it's like there could be so many different propensities here at play. The Four of Swords, upright. Okay, and there's this focus, absolutely, as we know, on matters of perception. I'm hearing gatekeeper, so the thoughts. Now, Ten of Swords, okay, right above the Son of Swords, 2 air cards here at the base. The Ten of Cups on the right-hand side. The way these cards popped out, by the way, are in chunks, 3 chunks to be exact, and in triangular fashion. Okay, so we'll heed that. 3 being the number of creation. 10 of Cups on the right-hand side facing the stack, below which we find the 4 of Pentacles upright, the 7 of Swords upright, and the Moon in reverse. Okay, now we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, upright, overlaying the 8 of Swords, 2 8s. Overlaying the 2 of Swords in reverse. Overlaying the 5 of Swords upright. Okay, horizontally positioned head-to-head, confrontationally with this 10 of Cups in the stack below it. The 10 of Swords, yet again, okay, sitting right at the base with the Son of Swords. There is culmination. It is a shake-up, Sagittarius, okay? And you, I'm getting that you don't entirely expect it, okay? Whatever this newfound sense of perception is, you don't entirely expect it. It has to do with an individual of the water element. If this is your own propensity, then it's something about the way that you see yourself, and the way that you see yourself as playing a certain role as the creator of your world, of this dream. There's a focus on partnerships. Okay, for a number of you, this may absolutely be speaking to partnerships, the culmination of resources. I'm hearing as well financial resources, okay, for a number of you. But nonetheless, there's this figure that's placed prominently as it pertains to this perceptive quality and tone. Okay, the direction of understanding. Yet again, Father of Cups. Okay, but nonetheless, it's an emotional. It's an emotional roller coaster, Sagittarius. Okay, it's an emotional roller coaster, and it has to do with the confession. Okay, of a certain, I'm hearing, dynamic truth. Okay, very interesting. The 7 and the 8. 7 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. I just intuitively pulled part of the stack off, and the 7 and the 8 are now facing one another. Fundamentally, at the core of it all, okay, and at the apex of it, lies the realm of perception. And you realize, Sagittarius, there are so many thoughts I can think. There are so many ways of perceiving something that is inherently emotional, that is inherently spiritual, that is inherently energetic, intuitive. There's a knowing that I hold, and yet there's also at the same time this, I'm hearing this safety goat. Okay, safety goat. Take it as you will, but there's, right, this, it's almost like a leak. I'm seeing it as like a leak, a leakage of the potency of our intuition that is almost like pricked and popped, like a balloon, by way of the thoughts that we think, that in a way frame and judge our unconditional frame of reference of who we are and what we're creating. You're understanding the role that thoughts play, and you're taking the reins with that. And there may be a situation that compels you, okay, that like prompts you to take this close look at the role that your thoughts play, the self-talk, okay, the self-thoughts, how you think and how you perceive yourself as the creator of what you create. Right? It's like, don't let your own thoughts, right, burst your bubble. The bubble that holds you. And you're in this exalted state of complete ownership. I'm hearing of your self-validation, of your potential to create. I'm hearing everything is possible. Everything is possible. And the limitations and the boundaries of the intellectual mind, okay, of the sense of discernment, okay, that we arrive at by way of following a certain train, a lineage of thoughts, right? That's almost algorithmic. Yes, there is a path that's followed, but where does that path lead you, right? And it's that question of, right, I'm carving my path. There is no path. There is no blueprint to what I'm creating, to who I am as the creator of that. And yes, that forms a certain dissonance with how I think myself through it. But I realize at a certain point that, yet again, I can only think so much through it. There comes a point where the feelings just take over and preside and bring me back to the core of why I'm hearing this decision to begin with. I'm hearing this decision to begin again, this decision to begin again. So I'm getting that the force and the momentum comes by way of the connecting to the principle, not that's written, not right, that is, I'm hearing legislature, not that is in technicality, directional and agreeable and I'm hearing cohesive, but that which is connective for you and only you. Okay, because when you are holding and maintaining your balance, Sagittarius, that's when you can uphold the frequency for others. It's the connecting to your very personal life force. Okay, and how you even have gotten to this point. I'm hearing this, to this frequency. Is your focus, okay, is your focus. It's like, well, you know, and it could be cyclical, right? It could be, it's like, well, one day I'm up there and I'm feeling, you know, I'm feeling grand. And I see everything that I don't see. And I'm excited by that. Okay. And then in the next moment, it's like, well, you know, the thoughts begin to seep through. And so your question then, right, at this point, you're recognizing the cyclicality of it, and you're taking this perception that's so objective and yet again philosophical and esoteric towards what you are experiencing. And so be it a situation that prompts you, that compels you to gain this higher perspective of the experience. I'm hearing experiential learning, okay, or be it, right, I'm hearing this momentary alliance, this remembrance of a truth of some kind. It's a shakeup for you. It's a shakeup for you, but I'm getting it's something that is like, whoa, okay, it becomes very obvious to you and it's very shocking. Okay, it's like shocking, but not in the way of, well, I didn't know that was going to happen. I knew that I was looking at this illusory sort of illustration. Okay, I knew that, right, the person who showed it to me, they're like, wow, you know, what do you see? There's so many things that you can see. What do you see? So you kind of knew it, but then the moment that you see it, it's always like, it's kind of chilling. Okay, it's like, well, I'm actually seeing something else, even though I was looking for so long at it. Okay, now, again, it's matters of perception, but whatever this moment is, it leads you to completely invert the way that you stand in relation to others as well, how others perceive your work, how others perceive you as the creator of your work. It's as complete, and it's an extroversion rather. Okay, it's an extroversion as well. And what it does, Sagittarius, is it leads you to this point, and I'm getting it so specific. There's this clarity that's had that is so specific that brings to light a matter that is inherently confounding, okay, that deals with polarity of some kind. Of two factors that are just do not, it's like, how does this make sense? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I can think about it as much as I want. It doesn't make sense. And I know that, okay, I've known that as well. But it still remained an enigma that I was curious about. Well, what is this that I'm feeling that I'm dealing with? These two very varying dispositions. And it's the moment in which you release the need to understand it, that it all, I'm hearing, tumbles into force. I'm hearing right in front of you. Okay, so it's the moment of release, okay, specifically of the perceptive, I'm getting a foothold and grounding of the ways that we aligned ourselves in the process of understanding ourselves that sets you into motion to prompt even further this moment, I'm hearing, of channeling exactly what it is you feel, of tuning into exactly what drives you emotionally, intuitively, spiritually through this process. There's this moment of, and it's so, the energy is so angular, Sagittarius here, throughout the reading, right? It's like sudden jolts of and sparks of awareness. Okay, but that are yet again prompted from a place of perception and of emotion. Okay, the perception of emotion. And yet again, there may be another individual involved who is, I'm hearing, accomplice, okay, accomplice in it. There may be some reception between the Father of Pentacles and the Father of Swords that we saw just prior in the spread that we pulled for you. But yet again, right, you have the Moon, okay, and it's mirroring this Five of Swords. And what we're seeing here is a question of what this all leads to. I'm getting specifically in an esoteric sense. Okay, you're like, I get it now. I really get it. Okay, I see it, I feel it, I'm almost tasting it at this point. But this, that I've stumbled upon, how does this reshape and speak to, I'm hearing, what is contiguous? What is contiguous? Okay, so take it as you will, Sagittarius. But there's this inherent, I'm hearing, novel of mystery that is both the point of question, okay, of this enigma, of whatever this enigma has been, of whatever this anomaly, this thing just doesn't make sense, this thing just doesn't make sense, okay? And similarly, the point at which it all makes sense. And it's almost cyclical. And yet again, it's the acceptance of the cyclicality of it all, Sagittarius, that is the underpinning of the culmination of this cycle, that is emotional, that is intuitive, that is also spiritual. I'm getting that from a number of you. Okay, but Sagittarius, let us try and get the cups crossed out here and see what comes through for you. Okay. Before we do, let me just grab a sip of water. Okay. Okay, Sagittarius, there is a complete jump, a complete shift. Okay, and it's almost like sudden. It's sudden. It's like day and night. It's day and night. And it's like what you were working with before, you're like, Play-Doh? What's that? I don't work with Play-Doh anymore. Okay, I work with liquid gold, something like that. It's something completely like, you know, if you were in an industry that dealt with a certain material, a certain method, a certain medium, it's like, I'm hearing a transference. There's a transference. There's a transition. Okay. Ace of Wands. Yes. There's the question of directionality and a new beginning as it pertains to the creative direction. The creative direction that we're taking as the creator of our world. Okay. And I'm seeing it as in tandem with the Four of Swords card that we saw yet again, placing that focus on the dream and the intellectual, rationalized sort of perception that we hold of it, or perhaps that we feel others hold of it. Okay, so these cards want to pop up like this. Let's heat it and follow through. You have the Hanged Man card here, right side up in your theme, right over the High Priestess. Major focus on the Pisces archetype, major focus on the water element. okay? And it's sitting right over the Seven of Cups upright, sitting right over the Two of Pentacles upright. Again, we have the Father of Pentacles popping out for you. There is, okay, well, I'll say this. Right beneath the Father of Pentacles, we have the Five of Cups. Who sits right over the Wheel of Fortune in reverse? There's the focus, Sagittarius, on the transmutation of the sense of emotional dissatisfaction from the past that may be related to an individual who has a lot of earth in their chart. So, and if this is not another individual, it could be pertaining to matters of career, and the question of self-sufficiency, okay, independence, okay. And so where I'm hearing the financial realm is somewhat infiltrated by that of the emotions and vice versa, you're recognizing it's all held in my perception. Yet again, what I know will emotionally satisfy me. It's a matter of alliance with that. And yes, that spins me in a new direction. Yes, that shakes things up. Yes, it's a question of, well, what comes next of this recognition and the alliance with it. But that's not my concern. And again, I'm getting it's movement step by step. It's micro movements, step by step, okay, that capacitate this new beginning for you. But I'm getting, yes, it's what you're working with is so transformational as it relates to what you knew it to be or how you related to it in the past. It's transformational, okay? And it's almost, I'm hearing it's unrecognizable. I'm hearing to the naked eye as well. So there's no blueprint for this, Sagittarius. But at the same time, you're not, I'm hearing blasphemous. You're not just, okay, it's not outlandish, okay, shifts and I'm hearing revolts and changes, okay, in behavior. It's fundamentally, okay, you're feeling your way through it. You're aligning frequentially with what this change requires of you, right, the capacitation and the will and the force and the drive. You're building upon these resources, Sagittarius, to bring them to a point where they feed into the system itself, themselves. So what I'm trying to say here, Sagittarius, and I keep almost saying Capricorn, you pulled strength, okay? This is Leo's card in the Major Arcana. What this new beginning calls upon for you is to bring into sharp laser focus your vision, okay, your intuitive faculties, your sense of a cohesion that exists between your ability to take action, your creative potential, your creative ideas, and what is the guiding principle, the guiding force behind it, your intuition. So merging these two assets that are your own, I'm getting they're internalized, is what compels this new beginning. But you realize to get these wheels in motion, it's not just simply about, right, hopping on the bike and spinning the wheels. I've got to start off, right? I want to get the gear just right. I want to get. I'm hearing the temperature. I'm hearing the temperature waves. Okay. I want to get. You're taking very. You're taking a very descript approach to what this new beginning requires. Okay, I'm hearing temporally. So taking a look at the weather, okay, it could be the astrological weather for a number of you. We do have the High Priestess looking over its strength, and the Hanged Man as well. It's like this, Sagittarius. Look, this on the strength card, right? This lion has this figure 8 right on its forehead, on this third eye chakra, and it's almost as if I'm getting a programmable nature, okay? And it's interesting because the lion is known to be a ferocious sort of animal, okay? Yeah, it's like a regal animal, but there's a ferociousness to the lion, right? Speaking of fire energy, right? Wild, dynamic. Even aggressive in a certain way, okay? I'm beckoned to mention that however you take it, Sagittarius, but it's almost like the lion is being tamed, is being, I'm hearing remote control, I'm hearing, is being, I'm hearing dictation, is being dictated in a certain way by way of these forces that are inherently, I'm hearing, of a higher knowing, of a higher perception, on higher ground. which interestingly enough have sitting beneath them the Father of Pentacles, okay, and the Seven of Cups, right? So there's this question of groundedness, okay, of fundamentalism, of the foundational element to this new beginning, but also of the ability to side in every moment with laser sharp focus of what we align with, where we are being driven from a place that is not just impulsive, right? So it's not Sagittarius about just the action. The focus is not on the action, on the change, on the, I'm here getting on blasphemous. It's not about the polarization of these worlds. It's a matter of the process that gets you there and your alliance with yourself as the capacitator of it every step of the way. So you're coming to terms with yourself, Sagittarius, as the upholder of this dream, of this vision, and you understand just how much you're being guided through it by, I'm hearing this, this unseen, unheard force, okay, of your higher self, of your higher knowing, right? It's like, it's not intellectual, it's not rational. Even the lion doesn't know why it's so zen right now, but it's just so zen, and it feels like, I just want to, right, like, I don't feel like running after the antelope in the grass today. I want to just feel the feeling of the blazing hot sun beating upon my fur. And I just feel that I need to do that today, right? The lion is taking on this, like, right, philosopher's sort of experience through to creation, understanding that there's no rush, okay? There's no rush, Sagittarius. There's no rush. It's not about, right? I'm hearing, it's not about the kill. Take it as you will, however that resonates with you specifically. It's not about getting down to it. I'm hearing the knit and the grit, the knit and the grit. It's about the lion, right? Getting in term, coming to terms with, rather, I'm hearing the preconception of what channels its focus to follow the compulsion of how it is to capacitate those impulses. What is the reason why the lion even has this feeling, right? So the lion is like, rather than just acting, it's like, well, wait a second. Let me sit under this tree and think about, take a very close look at why I desire what I desire, why I want this new beginning. And Sagittarius, where in the past, right, you may have regarded this new beginning as like, I just want to do it, right? Like, I just want it. Let's get the show on the road, right? I'm getting that in this moment in time, you're so compelled to, I'm hearing fine tune the presence, your presence, as you play this part. And the frequency of it is so paramount to actualizing it, to bringing forward to materialization in the third dimension. Know what you have vision for, but what you have vision for translates into in the third dimension. You have the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, a sequence, right in the periphery of this Strength card. Right, so it's like the lion is like not bothered by, right, the prospect of the antelope. Is not bothered by this hangering, almost impulsive, animalistic sort of feeling. Take it as you will. The allure is no longer housed in the effect. The allure is in the reason why things happen and materialize in the way they do in the moment that we align with why we want them. Not why we want them, it, the result of what, right, we want, but what we want very deeply. Unrelated in a certain way to what it materializes as. So there's this differentiation, okay, between the third dimension. And, right, all speaking of manifestation, I'm getting that very strongly for you, all speaking, referencing manifestation, and why we're here to manifest, to begin with. And you're coming to terms with that. You're connecting. I'm hearing guiding forces, guiding forces. There may be, right, spirit guides, take it as you will. So a general reading, always, always, always heed your personal intuition, Sagittarius, but there is this presence, okay, this presence that just, it's like an entrancement of some kind. I'm hearing that brings you back to center focus. Excuse me. Now, you have the Five of Pentacles overlaying the Ace of Pentacles, two aces here, okay? And the Three of Swords right beneath this Ace of Pentacles, all upright, horizontally laid, connecting this emphasis on the physical dimension to the actionable steps that we take towards it and through it. And fundamentally, what we are seeking, okay, and what comes by way of, what we create and the effects of it brings along with it in a transmutational way is the transformation of how we react, how we relate to, how we engage the third dimension and matters of stability, financial, also emotional. And so is this feeling of if something's not working, if something hasn't been working, if something hasn't been flowing, if, right, there's been this, I'm hearing butting of heads, okay, of resources, of assets, as it relates to desire, passion, will, drive. If something just wasn't quite culminating, I'm hearing finishing, you realize that it's not about, right, the end goal of getting, right, in working harmony, the material, tangible world with intention, focus, drive, will, passion, intuition, spirituality, right? It's, first and foremost, you realize, I've got to let go of what becomes of it in the third dimension. My focus is why I am being driven simply to express myself in this way. Okay, and that is your focus, and that is what sort of has this almost calming effect on any sort of dissatisfaction, turbulence. I'm getting turbulence, like up and down, emotionally, almost taxing, okay, as it pertains to the matters of career, finances, right, professional, sort of the third dimension that we participate in, takes on this calming, this purifying as well, this purifying feeling, okay, of renewal, but not because, yet again, it was the point was to streamline, okay, these two realms. But there is a new beginning, Sagittarius, okay, and it has to do with how it all materializes, absolutely. And I'm getting that for a number of you, there may have been, if the career front, if the professional front, if you've been feeling, oh, you know, my efforts are just not, they're not materializing in the way that I'm expecting, there may have been, I'm hearing legal boundaries, legal parameters, aspects of also partnership, how we feel we are to comply with certain forces, okay, and expectation, rules and regulations that may have given us a sense of constriction, that may have tainted the vision and the coherency of our compulsion to even follow this path towards capacitating our vision. That's coming into focus. And you're like, so it's like this, Sagittarius, right? Someone who's a very creative individual, okay, has this vision, wants to create something, has all this creative intent, you know, within them. And I'm hearing creative intentions, I'm hearing good intentions. One wants to create something, but is operating within the framework or the scheme that abides by certain rules and regulations. It's like, oh, I want to create. Oh, sorry. Or you have to follow these guidelines. But creation is dynamic, especially for a number of you. I'm feeling what the nature of this creativity and this creation is almost ethereal. Okay, it's like it pertains to the etheric realm, and there's no understanding. There are no guidelines as it pertains to that dimension. So you're like, I need to detach from how I operate, okay, and how I view how I operate in the third dimension. I need to focus on, right, yet again, what drives me through it altogether. And it's that moment, Sagittarius, that you tune in frequentially, okay, to what you've known to be your very personal truth and specifically guiding force. I'm getting guiding force for you very strongly. It's that moment where it all materializes. Okay, so thank you so very much, Sagittarius, for tuning in. Have a beautiful October, and I hope that this reading was helpful for you in some way, and I highly recommend you check out your rising sun or moon sign as well. If you don't know your signs, you can click the link below in the description box that I provide, and that will compute them for you. Please do note that you need your quasi-exact birth time to calculate your ascendant rising sign. If you don't have your birth time, you may be able to get around with your moon sign if you were born on a day that did not have the switch in the moon sign. So Sagittarius, thank you so very much again for tuning in, and I'll see you for your mid-October readings. Notes and details on that in the description box below, as well as the preceding message video coming up after this one. So thank you so very much again for tuning in. Love and light to you all on this journey forward, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi there, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into your video. Again, this is a general announcement, and it pertains to the monthly readings and mid-monthly readings. A reminder, so for this month, I'll be doing it a little differently. Usually, I have two part readings for the month. I have from the 1st to the 15th and the 15th to the 30th. So the early portion, first half of the month readings, and that which pertains to the latter half of the month readings. Okay, so for this month, I want to be able to give the bulk of my time to the general readings, okay? And so to do that, I'm going to need to reduce the amount of energy and time that I put into the private readings that I do and the private services and so on and so forth. So to do that, I've decided to make accessible the mid-monthly readings by way of subscription, okay? And so you'll be able to access that via my website, alchemyandyou.com. Once this video goes live, it's available on the website. So you can click the link in the description box below, or simply go to alchemyandyou.com, and there should be a banner there at the very top. You can click that and subscribe for your spot to receive the mid-monthly reading, okay? And I'll be delivering that to everyone on October 11th. So feel free to check it out if you'd like more details. The link in the description box below. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Loving the light to you all on this exciting journey forward, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.